Johnny Pink. This is Pine Mountain Club, and I'm shooting birds in the water feature over there. I'm filming on the R3 and I'm shooting Canon's R1. The reason I'm shooting here is I started this video yesterday, but as I was watching the footage, I wasn't crazy about it. It just didn't have what I was looking for. So I went back home and looked at the photos. I was shooting a Canon R10 and the 600 f11. I really like shooting entry-level stuff. Even contrary to some of the comments, you shoot stuff that your target audience can't afford. I understand that. I like shooting entry-level stuff, but when I was out shooting the R10, just for fun, I pulled out Canon's 100 to 500 and put it on here too. 500 times 1.5, 2 phase, so would have put me at 700 millimeters, I believe it is, right? It's a little bit more reach. So I'll show you a couple of photos with this lens on there. And the old adage, glass, 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 it's still true. You can get some great shots with this f11, but the better glass, L-glass, does produce better images. And I had more wonderful shots with the 600 f11 than I realized. So I want to do a second video, or it'll be a third video in the series, with the 100 to 500. Also another phenomenal lens. And when you're shooting it on a crop sensor, you just multiply times whatever crop, the focal length times the crop that you're shooting. Canon is 1.6, Nikon is 1.5, Sony is 1.5. And that gives you the equivalent focal length because the sensor is smaller, it's larger on a full frame body. Anyway, aside from all of that, I had a bunch of extra photos and even a couple from the 600 that I hadn't put in there because it was getting so long. Let me share these with you. My intro stuff is usually kind of long anyway, but check these out. And those were the ones from the 600 f11 that I didn't put in the other one. Now I'm going into the 100 to 500 shots. I'm really, really happy with this camera. With that combo was great for wildlife too. And one of my comments on one of my R1 videos was, it looks like you spray and pray. I don't. What bothered me about the R5 too is that small buffer. So if I'm shooting a camera, if I'm shooting an entry level and I'm panning a bird in flight, I expect to hit the buffer. When I was shooting the old DSLRs, like my D800, favorite camera, the only one I still have, I get 7 shots. At that 8th shot, man, it stops. I accepted those limitations and worked around it. And now, with something like this, or if you're shooting Nikon, or if you're shooting the Sony A1, you will hit a buffer eventually. But with the R3, if I'm shooting in C-RAW at 20 or 15 frames a second, I don't hit a buffer, and I can do the same with the R1. So to get these lapses, let me show these to you. The sun is now perfect on that water feature. I was sitting on the ground earlier. The sun is just so perfect, so I want to go back to shooting that. Let me show you some lapses or some sequences. I like shooting those. They're a lot of fun. It's like shooting a time lapse at night with the stars. It looks amazing. Check these out. I'm going to wrap it up here by saying thank you for letting me share with you guys. The most important thing you can do when you go out to shoot something is have fun. And I know there are people, and I was one of them until I started shooting 24 megapixels. I have to take a step back and go, you know what? I really don't need all this tech. That entry-level stuff, Canon, their autofocus is so amazing. I'm talking a little bit quiet here because I'm in a residential neighborhood and it's probably only 9 o'clock. Sleepy little town, you do hear noise, but I don't want to wake up the neighbors around here. So please give it a thumbs up. That's the only thing I ask. If you made it this far in the video, give me a heart down in the comments, or if you have questions, leave me a comment down below. Thank you again for letting me share with you. I appreciate it like I can't tell you. From Pine Mountain Club, shooting an R1, filming on an R3, just keeping it simple. But this is a video about the R10. Fantastic little body. My favorite entry-level camera, full frame, R8. The R10 was pretty neat too, and the R50. I think the R10, they're similar, man. JonnyPink again, thank you. I'll see you guys out here. If you see me, please come up and say hi. Have a fantastic day, whatever it is you're going to do, and I'll see you. God, I love this camera.